The starship Eclipse of Dawn glided silently through the inky void of space, its sleek, iridescent hull reflecting the faint light of a distant sun. Aboard the vessel, Princess Zynara of the Xel'thari Empire paced the observation deck, her bioluminescent skin flickering with anxiety. Her long, silvery tendrils, a mark of her royal lineage, twitched nervously as she stared out at the stars. She had a mission, one that would determine the fate of her people. But it was not a mission of diplomacy or war. It was far more personal. Zynara needed to mate. The Xel'thari were a dying race. Centuries of genetic stagnation had left them infertile, their once vibrant civilization teetering on the brink of extinction. Desperate, the Empire's scientists had scoured the galaxy for a solution. Their answer: hybridization. By combining Xel'thari DNA with that of another species, they could potentially reverse their decline. And so, Zynara, the last unmated princess of her kind, had been sent on a clandestine mission to find a suitable mate among the stars. Her target: humans. The humans were a young species barely out of their solar system, but they were genetically robust, adaptable, and, most importantly, compatible with Xel'thari biology. Zynara had studied their culture extensively, learning their languages, their customs, and their peculiar mating rituals. She was prepared, or so she thought. The Eclipse of Dawn entered orbit around Earth, cloaked to avoid detection. Zynara donned a human disguise, a sleek, form-fitting suit that concealed her bioluminescence and gave her the appearance of a tall, strikingly beautiful woman with silver hair and piercing violet eyes. She descended to the planet's surface in a small shuttle, landing in a remote forest far from prying eyes. Her plan was simple: find a suitable human male, seduce him, and extract his genetic material. She had no intention of forming an emotional bond. This was purely a transaction. But as she ventured into the nearest town, she quickly realized that humans were far more unpredictable than she had anticipated. Her first encounter was with a man named Jake, a rugged outdoorsman who stumbled upon her in the forest. He was tall, muscular, and undeniably attractive, exactly the kind of specimen her scientists had recommended. But when Zynara attempted to initiate the mating ritual by reciting a series of carefully rehearsed compliments, Jake burst out laughing. "You're kidding, right?" he said, wiping tears from his eyes. "Who talks like that? Are you some kind of alien or something?" Zynara froze. Had he figured her out? But before she could respond, Jake grinned and extended a hand. "Relax, I'm just messing with you. You're cute though. Wanna grab a drink?" Zynara hesitated. This was not how the ritual was supposed to go. But she nodded, deciding to play along. Perhaps this was how humans courted their mates. Over the next few days, Zynara found herself drawn deeper into Jake's world. He was unlike anyone she had ever met, brash, irreverent, and utterly fearless. He took her hiking, taught her how to fish, and introduced her to the bizarre human concept of camping. Zynara, who had spent her entire life in the sterile confines of Xel'thari palaces, was both fascinated and overwhelmed. But as much as she enjoyed Jake's company, she couldn't forget her mission. One evening, as they sat by a crackling campfire, Zynara decided it was time to act. She turned to Jake, her violet eyes glowing faintly in the firelight. "Jake," she said softly, "there's something I need to tell you." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Oh, this sounds serious." "I am not human," Zynara confessed. "I am Princess Zynara of the Xel'thari Empire. My people are dying, and I have come to Earth to find a mate. You are compatible." Jake stared at her, his expression unreadable. For a long moment he said nothing. Then he burst out laughing. "Okay, that's a new one," he said, shaking his head. Aliens, huh? You're really committed to this bit, aren't you? Zynara frowned. This is not a bit, as you call it. I am serious. Jake's laughter faded as he realized she wasn't joking. He leaned forward, studying her face. Wait, you're for real? You're actually an alien. Zynara nodded. Yes. And I need your help to save my people. Jake whistled. Well, damn. That's a lot to take in. But okay, let's say I believe you. What exactly are you asking for? Zynara took a deep breath. I need your genetic material. It is the only way to ensure the survival of my species. Jake blinked. You mean, you want to have a kid? In a manner of speaking, yes. Jake leaned back, running a hand through his hair. Wow. I mean, I've had some weird dates before, but this takes the cake. So what, you just want to, do the deed and then peace out? Zynara hesitated. That was the original plan. But I find myself reluctant to leave. You are different from what I expected. Jake smirked. Different good or different bad? Different good, Zynara admitted. You have shown me a side of life I never knew existed. Nay, I think I may be developing feelings for you. Jake's smirk softened into a smile. Well, I'll be damned. An alien princess with a crush on me. Guess I'm doing something right. As the days turned into weeks, Zynara and Jake grew closer. She introduced him to her ship, showing him the wonders of Xel'thari technology. He, in turn, taught her about human emotions, love, joy, and even heartbreak. But their idyllic romance was short-lived. One night, as they lay together under the stars, Zynara's communicator buzzed urgently. It was a message from her people. The Xel'thari scientists had completed their analysis of Jake's DNA, and the results were troubling. What's wrong? Jake asked, noticing her distress. Zynara looked at him, her eyes filled with sorrow. Your DNA. It is too compatible. If we proceed with a hybridization, it could trigger a catastrophic chain reaction. Your genetic material would overwrite ours, effectively erasing the Xel'thari from existence. Jake frowned. So, what does that mean? It means I cannot mate with you, Zynara said, her voice trembling. To do so would be to betray my people. Jake reached out, taking her hand in his. Hey, it's okay. We'll figure something out. There's gotta be another way. But Zynara shook her head. There is no other way. My mission has failed. I must return to my people and face the consequences. The eclipse of dawn departed Earth, leaving Jake behind. Zynara stood on the observation deck, watching the blue planet shrink into the distance. Her heart ached with a pain she had never known before. She had come to Earth seeking a mate, but she had found something far more precious and far more painful. As the ship entered hyperspace, Zynara made a silent vow. She would not give up. She would find another way to save her people, even if it meant defying the Empire itself. And perhaps one day she would return to Earth, not as a princess on a mission, but as a woman in search of love. For now, though, the stars were her only companions, and the future was as uncertain as the void itself. Epilogue. Years later, Jake stood on a hill overlooking the forest where he had first met Zynara. He often came here to think, to remember. He had never forgotten her, though he had long since accepted that she was gone. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, AF